My name is Ella Novick, and my junior year, I took AP European History with Ms. Todhunter.
Hi, my name is Anna Cuthbert-Laidlaw, and I took Genocide Studies with Ms. Todhunter my senior year. Ms. Todhunter has been teaching history at Northampton High School for over 20 years.
So I transferred schools my junior year and was lucky enough to have Ms. Todhunter on my first day. She immediately welcomed me into her classroom and made me feel at home with her easy banter and clever smile. But little did I know that her class would be the most challenging course I took in high school. It would also be the class that I looked forward to each day because of her witty jokes and natural ability to keep the attention of her class.
Ms. Todhunter demonstrates such a deep care for what she is teaching and is so genuinely invested in our academic experiences and our own personal well-being. The enthusiasm that Ms. Todhunter brings to her classroom is infectious, and it inspires her students to want to do well in her classes. In addition to her academic presence, Ms. Todhunter takes the attention of the room with her vibrant outfits and kick-ass boots, just another way that she inspires us daily. In my Genocide Studies class, Ms. Todhunter had a way of conducting class that makes students feel safe and heard. Her presence brings a lighter energy to the darker sides of history that she teaches about, and she makes an effort to check in with her students all the time. Throughout my senior year, I found that Ms. Todhunter's classroom felt like a safe space for me and a place that I always felt comfortable in.
She is such a kind and caring person and deserves to be recognized for it.
So you might have guessed by now, the Teacher of the Year award goes to Ms. Todhunter.
Ms. Todhunter.
You've seen me cry a lot. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Ella. So first off, I did not use ChatGPT to write this. I probably should have. My husband, who is also an educator, recommended I do so like multiple times. And also, to keep this short, he said like a minute. But that is all against my religion as a teacher. You know how much I love to talk and give lectures, disguised as story time. So here goes. And if you haven't already, please put your phones away. So when it was made known to me that I was tapped for the Mary Gray Award this year, I was honored and humbled. I am one of the many teachers who has grown to love this class and recognize how special you are. Thank you, class of 2023, for this honor. But I also want to acknowledge and express my gratitude for the entire Northampton High School community, our administration, our staff, our faculty, our families. We couldn't do this vital work without each other. I would also like to give a shout out to my favorite and, yes, best looking department at NHS, the Social Studies Department. AKA the Social Studs, as I like to call ourselves. Mark Baldwin, Ryan Parent, Scott Mahar, Kate Fontaine, Henry Frechette, and Dan Littlefield. You help make my job day in and day out a joy. 2023, I first met you on Zoom when you were sophomores, and that sucked. Not you, Zoom school, well, you kind of sucked too. It was like I was Dora on Dora the Explorer, and Ms. Roy, remember Ms. Roy? She was Boots. And I was looking into the void, black boxes and endless silence, and there was no map. Because we were all utterly lost. After much pleading, some of you turned your cameras on. Like Alex Ross. Yeah, hold your applause, Alex. Oh, Alex, when you finally turned your camera on and you looked so despondent, sitting there in jail, behind bars. And I felt so terrible and guilty for nagging you to keep your camera on, and maybe I should have excused you from your essay, and then I thought maybe I should call your mom, and then I thought, well, maybe I should conduct research on various filters one can use on Zoom. Junior year, we were all back in person and masked, or chin hammocked, and we took mask breaks outside or in the hallways like Thomas Michelson, who would eat outside my door, an entire roast chicken during AP Euro. In desperate attempts to keep your COVID-era foggy brains engaged during class, I would try to create these fabulous slideshows, and I'd continuously lose track of my remote laser pointer thing, only to realize that, Kumar, you were stealing it every day like a kitten with a ball of yarn. Well, such were the joys of returning to in-person school. By senior year, we settled into the new normal. Masks were optional, and we were finally over the weird melty face look that made us all shudder when we would go outside during the warm weather and actually see what we all looked like underneath our face coverings. And of course, Zeke, Nick, Tamar continued to tag my board on Todhunter Tuesdays, and I continually tried to erase it all before our new principal, Mr. Worley, saw the illustrated madness of your inner minds when he would happen by. But I digress. And I would like to share one last story you can't escape from. No bathroom breaks, Connor. Nikolai, Rory. My parents gave me the middle name of Hope when I was born in 1970, a time when there seemed to be little of it. The war in Vietnam was raging and wouldn't end for another 5 years. Growing up in Norwich, Vermont, near Dartmouth College, I was all too aware that a Soviet intercontinental ballistic nuclear missile was aimed directly at the Kuwait Computer Center and would incinerate my entire town in less than a heartbeat if a nuclear war began. The existential threat of our imminent annihilation was all too real during the height of the Cold War. Who would ever want to have kids during such a time? And I thought my middle name, Hope, was dumb. Teaching history can be hard, especially dark history like genocide. It is extremely painful to acknowledge the brutality we inflict upon each other, which makes it so terribly tempting to compartmentalize, ignore, push away, deny. But the truth is, teaching history is ultimately empowering. The stories we share, our stories, describe a history of progress, albeit uneven, through resilience, courage, and heart. This is not a romanticization of our past. The truth includes backlash, sacrifice, and unfathomable loss. But the truth is the truth. And throughout history, tyrants always fall. Over the last 4 years, you have experienced a great deal. You are surviving the worst pandemic in 100 years, and you live on a planet that, given the current trajectory, will not support life as we know it. Let no one minimize your truth or what you have gone through. Now is the history of the future. Yet, what I have seen in you, day in and day out, is extraordinary resilience, courage, and heart. You treat others with kindness because it is the right thing to do. You work after school to help pay rent and bills and take care of your family. You listen to other people even though you don't agree with them because you try to be open-minded. But you are not afraid to stand up and say what you believe. You support your friends and surround them with love when they are in pain. You give your all to your teammates. You create art and music that allow us to celebrate the beauty as well as feel the sorrow of life. You embrace knowledge and learning in everything we have sought to teach you, even when it feels distant. You share joy and exuberance, and you find fun in anything. You have grit and have worked so very, very hard. And even when the stress and the anxiety consumed you, resilience, courage, and heart. I know, because I know you, that your lives will have an impact on the world. And even though the outlook will seem bleak at times, I know, because I have felt it too, you will imagine and ensure a future. And hope doesn't seem so dumb after all. Class of 2023, we are all tremendously proud of you. You have shown us what hope looks like, how to keep going and imagine a future through your resilience, your courage, your heart, and today, with joy, we celebrate that. Congratulations.